It doesn't look like Hayley wants to go back into making mass air, really. Once that spire went down earlier, he has not rebuilt it from what I can see, so I'm guessing that he doesn't really want to move on to air units. He's getting Banelin now, so he's going to be sticking to ground units mostly. A combination of Zerglings, Banelins and Hydras. And of course the Overseer above to see any invisible units. So maybe he's suspicious of whether ZeeRaX has got himself a Dark Templars or not. Because there's not many invisible Protoss units apart from Dark Templars, or if you get the mothership out, that can also make everything within its range invisible. But very, very, very few people manage to get the mothership out because it just isn't that good anymore. Pretty much got nerfed into oblivion. It's not exactly bad, but it's like, nah, most people just don't bother. Here we see a warp prism is going to be wanting to come up here to this top left expansion spot and drop a probe down and get another nexus. But it doesn't look like he's going to be getting away with it because he's just put it right in the way of Hayley's mutas. That is rather unfortunate. Bye-bye 250 minerals. One warp prism and a probe. So that was wasted there. Obviously he must have been focusing a lot on his macro. This is a hard thing about Starcraft 2, is you just got to be on your bases at all times, clicking here, clicking there, and assuming that hopefully whilst he's sending that warp prism, for like the few seconds that he's not looking at it, it's going to be untouched. But when he wasn't looking at it, boom, runs into mutas. It's just bad luck really, but that's the way this game goes. It is quite common for that sort of thing to happen, so you've got to have your eyes all over the map at all times. Here we can see an expansion is going here, simply because he could not get his expansion at the top left. That would have been nice if he could, but he'll have to make do with this one at the top here. He's putting down a lot of cannons by the look of it, just to make sure that Hayley will not be able to bring it down, or will not be able to bring it down easily at least. He's got the minerals to support it, obviously. Here we can see, this is a interesting fight. That's very good use of force field there, but I would have preferred to see a couple of force fields go in front of ZeeRaX's army to stop the Banelins from getting inside. But at least he stopped those Hydras at the back, so that was a nice block there, but I think he could have done better there. Could have saved himself a bit more. But never mind, he's still survived, and he's also got this expansion, so as far as ZeeRaX is concerned, he's still in the game. Here we can see the Hydras trying to come back for another shot, but they are not going to do too well against Colossus. I can tell you that for now. Colossus do rip up Hydras. So yeah, Hayley will be smart to bring those Hydras back. They do move rather slow until you upgrade them, or if they're on creep. But as we can see, I don't believe they are upgraded at the moment. What can we see? Oh, a spire is being made, by the way, people. So air will be coming back into the game at some point. Where is this spire? It's at the back here. And we've also got an infestation pit. Infestation pit is actually used to tech up to hive, but it's not just used to tech up to hive, it's used to also get these infestor units. Very cool units, but not that useful. It depends. I mean, they're really circumstantial. So here we can see the Banelins are sitting at the back behind the Hydras here, so this is not going to go well for Hayley. He did manage to bring down a Colossus, a few of ZeeRaX's Stalkers and whatnot, so he didn't do too bad out of that, but again, that could have gone better. And the Colossus is sitting comfortably up here at the top of the cliff, bringing down the rest of those Hydras. So ZeeRaX is still comfortably in the game here. He's just... those were changelings, by the way. That's something that you get from, if I can even find it, which I don't think I can now. That's unfortunate. But I think he got killed. No, Overseer. You can create changeling for 50 energy, which they build up all the time. A changeling basically takes the form of the first unit that an enemy can make, such as a seller in ZeeRaX's case. Here we can see the Infestor is taking over this Colossus, so ZeeRaX has got to move and destroy that Infestor as quick as possible, otherwise that Colossus is going to be destroying his own units. He's done so, so that's worked out nicely for him. He's still managing to hold this expansion here. I don't think that let's have a look. No, he doesn't know yet, and here we go. He's just found out. Hayley has just found this extra expansion that ZeeRaX has. So this is really bad news for Hayley. He didn't even know that ZeeRaX had this, and it's got all these cannons here, so that's really bad, because he's like, well, I know this expansion's here, but what can I do about it with all these cannons? That's almost a guaranteed expansion. Now that's a lot of cannons. What have we got here? Is that right? 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah. 7 cannons. That's a fair bit. I don't think Hayley's going to want to be suiciding anything onto that just yet. He's going to need to get a much larger army. So Hayley's response to this is 2 expansions down at the bottom here, since ZeeRaX is unlikely to get out of his base. If he really wanted to, he could bring his Colossus down here and around here, but that's a risky move. And as far as ZeeRaX is concerned, he doesn't even know there's an expansion here, although he is aware of this one. But obviously he's not going to be taking the risk. Here we can see the mutas are going in. Probably going to try and take down the Colossus, if they can get many Colossus down before they go down themselves. That's 1 Colossus down, only 1 Colossus down, almost a second, but not worth trying to risk any more mutas there. Here we can see a lot of Zerglings, and quite a few Banelings are sitting outside the base. ZeeRaX can see this though with his observer. So he's quite aware of this. This is important to have an observer in the game at this point, because you want to know where your enemy is, what he's doing. Looks like Hayley's going to be going for the move on this extra expansion here. Will he be able to get down all of these cannons? Come on, little Banelings, go! Do your job. Blow the... I was going to swear there. Blow the lot up, I will say. Nope. ZeeRaX has brought round these units. He's managed to bring down all the photon cannons, but can he bring down that army? I do not think so. Hayley is going to have to retreat from this. So, yeah, it's arguable. I don't think that really went in Hayley's favour. Whilst he did bring down all those cannons, he's lost a hell of a lot of his army. So really, I would say that was a loss for Hayley there. It's definitely a loss now, because we've got a lot of overlords sitting out here. This is mainly due to when you're rallying your units over to like this point, if you want all your Hydras here, because Hayley was camping this spot, trying to prevent ZeeRaX from coming out of his expansion spot. All of these overlords that he makes also go there as well. So you just need to have a lot of macro there. And Hayley does have a lot of macro, that's for sure. He's very good on these macro, but even the best of us can make mistakes, eh? Here we see the Corruptors. These are actually, funny enough, an anti-air unit, but Hayley has made these Corruptors to counter the Colossus, because they can attack Colossus, because Colossus are so tall. You can attack Colossus with air units basically. So yes, it's quite funny how Corruptors, the anti-air unit, are being used against the ground unit Colossus. But you see here they're actually termed as a massive unit, and Corruptors actually have bonus damage against massive. He's used Corruption ability against those photon cannons. I'm going to show you the fight here, but I might be able to switch back up to the top. Whilst he's going to lose all of these Hydras here, he's still got his Corruptors doing quite a lot of damage to these Colossus. So if we can bring down more of those Colossus, better, to be honest, because those Colossus are not cheap. Here we can see the it's just wearing off now, the Corruption ability. It's quite a interesting ability. I don't understand why it's on an anti-air unit, but this is still beta, so we'll see where that goes. But anyway, yeah, it basically incapacitates a building for 30 seconds. Now, it's pretty good against towers, and what it's really useful against is a Terran command center that's been changed into a planetary fortress. So that's basically one big cannon tower that can attack air and ground, and it's just devastating. So when you're trying to take down an expansion, you've got a planetary fortress here waiting on you. If you corrupt it for 30 seconds, it's out of the game. I'm not even sure if it can be repaired during that 30 seconds whilst it's out of it. And if it can be repaired, it can't do much whilst it's being repaired, because it's corrupted.